Welcome to another episode of The Paolo Investor. Today is the 16th of June 2025, a Monday, and we'll be talking about the Kaspa Risk Metric, which I've developed as a way to figure out when is a good time to be buying Kaspa and when is it relatively good time to be cautious or thinking about lightening your Kaspa bag. Uh, and as again, this is not financial advice. You should do your own research. I'm just telling you about my findings and the strategy that I'm using. And as I write this, Bitcoin is just below 108K and Caspa's trading 0.78 cents or so. All right. So first, a quick story. Originally, Caspa was following a power law very similar to Bitcoin. It had different equations, but at least it had a good degree of fit to the trend line. You can see some of my earlier videos to discuss that. That sort of trend line continued till about September 24, which is about here. At this point, we started having this decrease in Caspa's price taking place. Let's just hide these signals here for a while. When the price started going down, the power law generally shows a trend that keeps on going up, and the dispersion or the difference between the power law and the price became quite wide to the point where now we are unsure whether it is following the power law, whether it returns back to that trend line or it doesn't. Only time will tell. But in the meantime, I started thinking about a better way to be able to benefit from the trend in Caspa that was not including the power law, a different sort of trend line. And I came up with my own particular risk metric. And the easiest way to understand this risk metric is in a color coded price chart like this. This is the same chart as price. It's showing price from uh, easiest, let's make it this way, from about September 22 all the way to the current date. And as you can see, the price starts off fairly low and then builds up and then starts dropping again, just like in the previous graph that I was showing. This is simply the price on a logarithmic scale. Right now, this is all gray, but when I apply the risk metric onto it, you can see where the risk metric has been informing Caspa buy and sell decisions. So basically, this risk metric over here ranges from 0, as highlighted by the dark blue, all the way to 1, as highlighted by the red. The closer it is to 0, the better the price is, or the lower the price is, looking back on the history of Caspa, right? So it's not looking at the broader cryptocurrency market, it's just normalizing or looking back upon its own history. And then it says, okay, aha, where we are right now relative to where we've been in the past is here. When it's red, it's telling us that we're way above what our trend was. And when it's blue, it says that we're way below trend. And if so, you believe in the idea of mean reversion, that means we come back to the trend, or you believe that Caspa has a future, these can indicate good buying opportunities. So the easiest way to see that is when you start looking for the dark blue. The dark blue is popping up here first about at 10 cents or so, 11 cents. And then also it started firing up at 0.0 at 8 cents. And then over here at 7 cents and 6 cents over here or so, right? So what this is indicating that these are historically good times to be buying Caspa. And you can see that if you bought at these points, you did relatively well. Now, let me give you two caveats here. The first one to understand this graph is that I'm not adjusting it based on what I'm seeing today. These are real-time values of the risk metric that are generated. So for example, this value over here was generated just looking at this past history. It wasn't me looking at today and then looking back and reinterpreting that would have been a good time to buy. No, these are the actual values the risk metric generated in real time. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is that it can't predict the future, right? This is a limitation here. Obviously, if I could predict the future, that would be fantastic. But this is a reactive metric, in which case it is telling you based on the current price how good of a price that it is. It doesn't tell you in the short term where the price is going to go. For example, here, it triggered out around 10 cents, but then the price went down all the way to 7 cents or 6 cents or 5.0 or 5.5 cents, as the case might be. So it can predict the future. But if you are disciplined enough to buy only at a particularly low risk metric, it greatly enhances the opportunity for superior returns, right? And that's why I think this is so exciting. So now you're looking at it over here. You say, okay, I bought some over here when it was 11 cents, and I then bought some more over here when it was 6 cents, and you bought some more over here when it was 8 cents. Even in the 11 cents, you had a chance to get out with looking at maybe a 50, 60% profit or so. If you bought at this point over here, 0.09, well, that's just very close to the price that we're tracking now. It's about 8 cents or so, right? And over here, if you're buying at 7 cents or 6 cents, well, you had a good opportunity to get out. So it doesn't tell you the future in the short term, but it does tell you it's a relatively good buying opportunity. And if we can be disciplined enough to buy only when the signal is going below 0.02, then those are good opportunities. Now, you can't say that it's going to take off forever, and you still have to have good risk management, but it seems that we're able to get at least good 50%, 60%, maybe even 100% returns based on when we get in and when we get out. So that's really the key factor over here, right? And also, it's not a signal that is for a bulk deploy. It is an opportunity to start DCAing. And so let's say you've got $10,000 that you want to deploy. When you first get the signal, when we first get the signal that it's dropped below 0.02, you start deploying that maybe in $500 a day or $1,000 a day, whatever cadence you have, because again, the metric does not tell you how long this opportunity period will last or how much lower it will go. So you want to spread your risk at that time and hedge a little bit, okay? But as you can see, this has a lot of promise, right? And looking at what the current values are, the current price of Kaspa is around 8 cents, and the risk level is 0.3, right? Now, the best time the opportunity will be below 0.2, and to understand that, we want to take a look at this risk table, which is showing that we have to wait for a price of about 6.5 cents for order to get the 0.2 risk level. Now, this doesn't say that you shouldn't start buying over here at this point if you are so strongly inclined. It might still be a decent price, but it is not the most optimal price to be buying at. And of course, this shows in the worst case what, according to this, is going to be the lowest value that we're going to see. So right now, my strategy based, since I'm DCAing and but I'm using this risk metric, is to wait for 0.2 risk level to hit. Now, I don't know if we're going to get that. Let me turn this off. Right now we're at about 8 cents. Maybe we get something lower. Maybe the market changes. Maybe it goes up. But the beauty is with this system, I don't worry about that. I just wait, and I'm waiting until I get my target price, right? And this algorithm updates every day, so these values change a little bit, but not massively so. So if you do want to get more of these regular updates, I'm building out a website, so definitely sign up at thepowerlawinvestor.com, and you'll be able to get these updates when that's all set up. That's probably the best way for you to track these carefully. So to summarize where we are, we're looking at a price of about 8 cents based on my analysis and this particular risk metric that I've developed. We're still at about 0.3 in the risk band. If we want to have a great entry point, we want to wait until it hits about 6.5 cents and then start DCAing. And it might still go lower, but at 0.2, we've got a good opportunity of making a substantial profit in the short term. So hope you guys enjoyed this update. If you have any more questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.